Welcome, everybody, to the Board of Commissions, City of Bowling Green, Kentucky regular meeting, City Hall, August 16th, 2022 at 4:30. We're going to begin with the invocation and pledge allegiance. If you'd stand, please. Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you so much for this day that you've made. And we just pray right now for our community. We pray for our leaders nationwide. We pray for them statewide and citywide. And just give them and the strength that they need to be able to make the right decisions for our community and the right decisions for our nation and state, and that we work together for the greater good. And we just thank you so much for the blessings that you brought to our community. We continue to ask and watch over the families here in our community that need you. We continue to watch and pray for the families in Eastern Kentucky. We thank you so much for your blessings. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everybody. Mrs. Jackson, will you please provide a roll call, please?
Commissioner Perigin.
Here.
Commissioner Bailey.
Here.
Commissioner Beasley Brown.
Here.
Commissioner Hill.
Here.
Mayor Alcott.
Here. Mr. Meisel, do you have any comments at this time?
I do, Mayor. As I usually do, I want to remind the audience that if you want to make public comments, make sure you sign the sign-up sheet in the back corner of the room. We'll handle those at the end of the regular agenda. One thing I failed to do last meeting, Mayor and Commissioners, I want to apologize for is some due recognition to our to a department that has now officially been accredited, and that is our Department of Code Compliance and NCS. Mr. Brad Chargorodsky, back there sitting in the left side of the room, took the bull by the horns last fall and started the process of getting that division an accreditation, and they are now the only code enforcement, code compliance division in the state of Kentucky with the national accreditation from the American Association of Code Enforcement.
Wow.
Brad,
Brad.
Brad, I apologize. It slipped up on me last meeting, I forgot to bring it with me, but we got word of this back at the end of July, and I missed this on the first meeting of August, and I apologize, but a lot of hard work went into this. Any kind of accreditation takes a lot of work, a lot of hours, and it involved a lot of departments he gathered data from, and really put a really good package together, and here we are with a accredited code compliance division now in the NCS department. So thank you, Brad.
Thank you, Mr. Meisel. Congratulations. That's an amazing amount of work accomplished from the behalf of our citizens. All right. Our first item is the approval of minutes from regular meeting, August 2nd, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Carlos Bailey. Any further questions or comments? None. Roll call, please.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes. Municipal order number 2022-164.
Municipal order approving the probationary appointment of Chase Ledford to the position of System Analyst 1 in the Information Technology Department.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Commissioner Beasley Brown, second by Commissioner Hill. Mr. Meisel.
We were fortunate to be able to work this into our FY23 budget, this position for IT of the additional System Analyst 1. And I'd like to ask Aaron to come up and make the recommendation for hire for the IT department. Aaron.
All right, good afternoon. First, I would like to thank you for your support with the FY23 and allowing us to add this position. As you can imagine, in this day of age, everything that we do involves technology, and it's more and more and more. So I think I speak for IT Director Donita Weeks when I say thank you for support of adding this position. And we wasted no time whatsoever in going out to recruit for this position. And I would like to invite Chase Ledford to come up and stand with me. A little bit unusual, I know, but he's got a really cool story. So stand with me, Chase. So Chase actually has been working in the Parks Department with our golf courses for the last 4 years, seasonally, while he worked himself through college at WKU to get an IT degree. He does have some experience in the IT field. He did go out, but as soon as he heard of this job opening, he applied, went through all the normal processes. We had 20 applicants, and we interviewed 8 of those candidates. And out of all those candidates, Chase was the best candidate. But I love stories like this. You guys know that I love stories like this. So I just think it's so cool that he really does have a love of this city, which can be seen in his work with parks and improving the lives and the quality of life for all the people that live here. And now he'll be still on the back end in the IT department. So would request your support and for this recommendation, and let me know if you have any questions.
Questions? All right, let's make this official. Roll call, please.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes, congratulations, Chase. Thank you, Aaron. Municipal Order Number 2022-165.
Municipal order approving the transfer of Andre Evans to the position of Fire Code Inspector in the Fire Department.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Commissioner Perigin, second by Commissioner Beasley Brown. Mr. Meisel.
The Fire Code Inspector position was one we also added for the FY23 budget. And we had a highly qualified candidate on hand that was really wanting and interested in making the transfer over from suppression to inspection. And so that person was Andre Evans. And so he requested to do the transfer from firefighter to fire code inspector, and just need your approval to do that tonight. I don't know that he's here with us, but he'll go from shift to normal 40-hour week schedule, and excited to get him into this position. He's going to do a great job. So Andre Evans from firefighter to fire code inspector. Just a transfer in the fire department. Just need your approval.
All right, and I'm remiss. Chase, do you have your family here with you? Would you stand up with your family? All right, congratulations to the entire family. We're going to be here for 3 or 4 hours, so you're welcome to stay. So, all right, and this is Andre Evans transfer. Is there any questions or comments? The commission? All right, let's make this official. Roll call, please.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes, congratulations to Andre. So, thank you, Chief. All right, Municipal Order Number 2022-166.
Municipal order approving the promotion of Olin Crabtree to the position of crew leader in the Parks and Recreation Department.
So, second.
Moved by Commissioner Perigin, second by Commissioner Carlos Bailey. Mr. Meisel.
I'd like to ask Brent Belcher, our Parks and Recreation Director, to come up and make his recommendation for this promotion. Brent.
Good evening, everyone. How's everybody? Thank you, Mr. Meisel. My story, congratulations to Chase. Obviously, we have a connection to him, and that's his father works for us as well and has worked for us for a number of years at the same golf course. So it's been great to watch that development. So once again, thank you guys and congratulations. But what brings me up here now is the promotion of Olin Crabtree. Not quite 4 years plus story like Chase, but his is 6 months. He started with us in February of this year in parks maintenance. To tell you a little bit about Oli is we've been searching for some. We've had some turnover in cemetery. Been searching for some leadership, some people to literally take the ownership, we'll say, of the cemetery maintenance. And Oli stepped forward from parks maintenance and volunteered. We'll say he wanted to transfer to cemetery for that responsibility. Did that in May. with that responsibility, we gave him the opportunity, or we'll say the process to get a CDL for a promotion. So we're here a few minutes later, and he has got his CDL now, has already proven that he is, I will say, a high efficiency, highly effective worker, a maintenance man that really enjoys, wants to make us the most efficient operation we can. He has his work family here with him because we got Olin here in the back. If you want to stand, Olin. And his work family, that's Catherine Maroney and Stephen Butcher beside him. That'll be his supervisors there. Thank you all for coming today. But we're proud of Olin and being a crew leader at cemetery. It's something that we're excited about, and he's already made an impact, and we're excited for the future of what he'll bring to us. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Brent. Questions, comments? All right, roll call, please.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes, congratulations, Olin. It's great to see promotion from within tonight here in the City Hall. Municipal Order Number 2022-167.
Municipal order authorizing and accepting software subscription services from Tyler Technologies, Inc. in the amount of $127,154.22 for fiscal year 2023.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Carlos Bailey. Mr. Mizel.
So each year we have to renew our software maintenance contracts. This one is with Tyler Technologies. Tyler is responsible for our financial management software, our payroll, human resources, community development, procurement management, and a lot of our eSuite modules that we use that interface with citizens. So it includes about 35 software modules in it, and about 160 city employees use this. Very critical piece of software, keeps up with a lot of things. And so Danita works with them annually to negotiate a cost, and she's done a good job again this year, looking over what we need and what we don't need, and she was able to carve out a few things to keep the cost kind of offset what they were proposing as an increase, and has come to an annual cost of $127,154. They would answer any phone calls or respond to any needs we have in support of this software, and also send us updates, enhancements, upgrades, training, any necessary modifications that we need for the next 12 months. So I'd like to thank Danita for working on this and keeping the pencil sharp, and ask for your support. This is under our FY23 budget amount, so we're fine with budget. Just need your approval since it's over $50,000.
Mizel.
And Danita can answer any questions you might have.
All right, questions, comments? None. Roll call, please.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes. Municipal Order Number 2022-168.
Municipal order authorizing and accepting bid number 2023-09 for Cisco SmartNet annual maintenance from Trace 3 LLC of Irvine, California, in an amount not to exceed $74,094.68.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Beasley Brown, second by Commissioner Carlos Bailey. Mr. Mizel.
Another IT-related item here. This is our annual agreement to maintain our hardware, firmware, technical support on our Cisco system. And you have to be a licensed Cisco reseller, so we went out to bid, and these three licensed resellers bid on this contract. This is to provide us with support and maintenance. And we got three bids, and the winning bid was Trace 3 LLC out of Irvine, California, in the amount of $74,094.68. This is all under the FY23 budget again, and ask for your approval of this one. Danita can answer any questions you might have on this.
Mr. Mizel, questions, comments? None. Roll call, please.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes. Municipal Order Number 2022-169.
Municipal order authorizing and accepting the purchase and installation of net extensions at Hobson driving range from Net Connection LLC of Trussville, Alabama, in the amount of $83,500.
So moved. Second.
By Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Perigin. Mr. Mizel.
So it's hard to believe, but we've had our driving range almost 4 years now, and it's been a success. We've made some good money on it, grossed over $100,000 every year, I believe, since we built it. But we have noticed that there are some safety issues with the netting on the right side that separates it from number 9 hole. We built this thing to be 80 feet high, and there's still a lot of balls that are making it over the net onto the number 9 hole. And you never know when there's going to be a ball flying at your head, and so we built this originally 4 years ago where we could extend the height on those poles on the right side, and we had an agreement with this company. This is a sole source because these poles will only fit into the same poles, but we're looking to go with a 20-foot tall net extension in the middle part of the netting where the apex of the ball would be the highest. And so this is the same netting that we've got up, and we would add, I think it's 6 or 7 sections. Is Brent still in here? He may have stepped out, but 6 or more sections of 20 feet netting to enable those balls to be caught and kept inside the driving range instead of going over the net onto number 9 and possibly hitting someone. So we'd like to go ahead and move forward with this. We've got budget available for this in Parks Improvement Fund. It's an $83,000 project, but we think it's a good, smart move to save any injuries down there that could happen. And we're fortunate that it hasn't happened yet, but we do our best to monitor people that are intentionally hitting over the net, but sometimes it just accidentally happens. So ask for your support on this adjustment to the netting down there with this company, Net Connection out of Trussville, Alabama.
Questions from the commissioners? None at this time. Roll call.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes. Municipal Order Number 2022-170.
Municipal order approving a contract through cooperative purchase with Boyd Company of Bowling Green, Kentucky, under Kentucky State Pricing Contract for the purchase of a hydraulic excavator for the Parks and Recreation Department in the amount of $69,685.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Cross Bailey, second by Commissioner Hill. Mr. Mizel.
When we were introducing the FY23 budget, we came to you with a number of equipment replacement needs. 10 of those pieces of equipment were in the Parks Department, Parks Maintenance. Come to you tonight with one of those. We have a purchase of a Caterpillar 30407 hydraulic excavator. This is on the state of Kentucky's master agreement, state pricing contract with Boyd Company for the amount of $69,685, and I should have brought my readers. But this is in the equipment replacement fund budget, and need to go ahead and get this old equipment replaced and get this in operation, and would ask for your support, your approval on this one.
This is the old Lovers Lane Soccer Complex. I'm sorry. I
This will be used a multitude of places. It can be used for irrigation systems, like on the golf courses. It can repair trails and grounds, and do a little bit of everything.
Thank you.
It's basically a dirt mover.
Where are you going to keep it when it's intact?
Probably at the Parks Maintenance Garage on Raven.
Thank you. Questions? Roll call, please.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes. Municipal order number 2022-171.
Municipal order authorizing and accepting the purchase of supplies and equipment of an outdoor fitness center at Lovers Lane Soccer Complex from National Fitness Campaign of San Francisco, California, in the amount of $125,850.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Beasley Brown, second by Commissioner Carlos Bailey. Mr. Mizel.
This is another project that we discussed during the 23 budget. This is an outdoor fitness court that we were able to get a grant on, $30,000 grant from the National Fitness Campaign. And we are proposing to do a 32-foot by 32-foot court that will have roughly 118 unique exercises that you can do, pull-ups, step-ups, similar to the one we put at Preston Miller, but maybe a few more things. We're planning on putting it adjacent to the shelter over at the soccer complex near the shelter closest to Briarwood Elementary along the trail. And we have got an estimate on the cost. It's roughly $125,850 less the $30,000 grant. National Fitness Campaign recommends that we use this sole source of equipment from one of their companies. And so funding will come out of the Parks Improvement Fund, and recommend your approval of this project. This will reside between the shelter and the walking trail nearest Briarwood Elementary. It's at Lovers Lane Soccer Complex.
Questions?
I don't have a question, but I have a comment. I'm just really excited about this addition to this park. Every time I go there, I'm so proud to be a commissioner. Just all the families there, grandparents, aunts and uncles, kids, playing soccer. And then, as a mom trying to figure out how to juggle it all, just this park, how it has the loops where people can walk while their kids are playing soccer. And to imagine this as another place where the whole family can be active and be healthy instead of just looking at your phone in the car while you wait. It's exciting to think about the ways that we're going to help improve quality of life for so many families, and so I'm really excited about this project.
Mr. Mizel, just really quick, what I was asking, I've actually been over to Preston Miller Park, and just to be a free park, it helps out our community. I'm a kid of the 80s, and I remember us used to be able to watch it on TV and be like, man, I've never seen it. So to have something like that is amazing. But what is the extra, equipment that we're going to be getting at the soccer complex that it's not at the Preston Miller?
I don't think that Preston Miller had the ability to do 118 unique elements, is what this says.
Gotcha.
I can't tell you specifically, Commissioner Bailey, but I can get information from Brent. I think he had to step out for a call or something. But if we can, we'll get back to you and pass that on to you.
We can talk about it later. You'll have to stop the board
Okay.
meeting for that. Thank you, though.
I think there will be some more art with this one versus the one at Preston Miller. I know that's one difference on it. There might be some decor that spices it up a little bit, but
Gotcha.
But there may be a few more machines as well. But I can get you details.
Great, thank you.
Questions, comments? None. Roll call.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes. Municipal order number 2022-172.
Municipal order authorizing and accepting bid number 2023-04 for the trade and purchase of on-duty weapons from West Virginia Law Enforcement Distributors, Inc. of Newton, Virginia, in an amount not to exceed $30,700, and purchase of holsters from Vance Outdoors, Inc. of Columbus, Ohio, in an amount not to exceed $26,806.28 for the police department.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Commissioner Perigin, second by Commissioner Carlos Bailey. Mr. Mizel.
So this was also in the FY23 budget, but the police is in need of replacing their handguns. They need roughly 148, I believe, replacing their handguns to go in with a Smith & Wesson 9mm, and they went out for bid, and they also bid out for holsters too to hold these on duty and off duty. They got two bids, but Vance Outdoors did not provide a bid for the actual pistols or handguns, but did provide a good bid for holsters. So West Virginia law enforcement distributors had the best bid for the 9mm handguns, and we're going to award the handguns to West Virginia law, and they're going to allow us a good trade allowance, roughly of $31,460, for a net difference of $30,700 on the handguns. So that's roughly half. So we're going to award the guns to them for purchase, and then we'll buy the on-duty and off-duty holsters from Vance Outdoors. And Chief Delaney is here, can answer any questions you have on this purchase.
Chief Delaney, is this a departmental choice on which handguns you choose, or is there a higher authority that oversees what Bowling Green Police Department purchases as their handguns?
Good afternoon, sorry. It's a departmental choice, but our firearms instructor staff and training staff evaluated several different platforms, Glock, SIG, H&K, and ultimately they came back with the Smith & Wesson is the best choice for us to move forward. That's what we carry now, familiar with the platform, and it's a newer version of a weapon system that we're already comfortable with, and we have armors on hand that are already trained to deal with any issues.
Chief,
Yes, sir.
questions? Roll call, please.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes. Municipal order number 2022-173.
Municipal order authorizing and accepting a change order and approving actions of the city manager for an emergency purchase of an aerial apparatus engine replacement from Diesel Works of Bowling Green, Kentucky in the total amount of $67,955.28.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Beasley Brown, second by Commissioner Hill. Mr. Meisel.
So we have a 2010 aerial ladder truck that's been giving us just a few problems, but still a good truck. We took it in, and this is what we're coming to tonight is about the third round of repairs, but this third round kind of exceeds my authority to approve. So I want to kind of give you a little bit of quick history. We did a phase 1 repair that included replacing some injectors, injector cups, and reconditioning the DPF filter, whatever that might be, but I won't go into detail. And then we were having trouble with it kind of sputtering as it is accelerating. It's a diesel truck. So we took it back in, and they did some diagnostic labor, didn't charge us even for all of that, but still had some expense on that, and ended up replacing the transmission control and removing the engine cylinder head and doing some other things. But now we found that it's in need of some further repairs, and this is phase 3, we call it. And this is roughly a little over $50,000, which will bring the full amount of repair to around $68,000. So we would like approval to go ahead and try to get these fixes done on this engine, on this truck. And due to the parts being hard to find, we have, I think, located some. We are declaring this an emergency purchase and trying to move on with this one. And try to find this 3/4 Riemann DDC engine to replace in this truck. So this is about a 2 or 3 week turnaround to get this engine, and we're going to rely on our backup aerial truck to service in the meantime. But Deputy Chief Rob Gillum is here and can cover, hopefully fill in the gaps I left out. Chief, if you want to step up, but that's kind of the gist of this municipal order. We'd ask for your approval to go ahead and make these repairs on this 2010 aerial truck to get us more life out of it and carry on.
Mayor, Commissioners, and yes, thank you for allowing me to speak today. And Yes, this is one of our primary vehicles that we are actually in the process of replacing, but it will become one of our reserve trucks, and it'll be a good quality reserve truck once we can get the engine issues taken care of. But it's been out of service for going on 2 months now. And because of that, you know, with all the diagnostic that has been transpiring through this process, we've determined that replacing the engine block is going to be the ultimate fix, as they didn't want to dig that deep down into the motor, but once they finally got there, they did discover what was truly the root cause of the problem. And we didn't want to, go to this length, but it is still a really good truck up until now, and we would like for it to continue to be a good truck, for years to come in a reserve status. It is one of our only one of 2 aerial platforms, and right now our other aerial platform's out of service, getting some work done on it that may be extensive as well. So we'd really like to have it back in service because it's one of our primary rescue trucks.
Thank you, Chief.
Yes, sir.
Chief Gillum, just one question.
Sir.
You said there's 2 aerial trucks, one of them's down right now.
Correct.
I guess, could you tell the public, what risk that, we could have if one of them is not, available?
Absolutely. So we actually have 4 aerial apparatuses, which is the trucks with the ladders on top. 2 of those are aerial ladders, which don't have the buckets up top. We call them aerial platforms. The buckets are used primarily for rescue, elevated rescue. So for multi-story buildings, these are the trucks that we rely on to go and rescue people. The other trucks, the aerial ladders, are great for elevated fire attacks with the big nozzles that can produce a lot of water, which these aerial platforms have too, but they're a lot safer for rescue than the ladders are.
Thank you.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Thank
Okay.
you.
You're welcome.
Chief Gilliam.
You're welcome.
Questions, comments? Roll call?
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Alcott.
Municipal order number 2022-174.
Municipal order approving a contract through Omnia Partners Cooperative Purchasing Contract with Train US Inc. of Louisville, Kentucky to provide an energy savings contract in an amount not to exceed $5,900,000.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Perigin, second by Commissioner Beasley Brown. Mr. Meyer.
First of all, I'd like to introduce a guest we have with us tonight, and that's Mr. Anthony Wright with Train. He's our account executive. We've worked with Anthony for a number of years with a lot of our systems. We come to you tonight with our 3rd energy savings project contract. We did one in 2000. I think Anthony told me earlier we were the first one in Kentucky back in 2000 to do an energy savings program, which has really paid off for us. When you can get control of your HVAC, your lighting, you can save a lot of money. It's surprising over a number of years, and we've done that in as many of our buildings as we can. So we did, the second one we did was in 2013, and that's when we renovated the annex. We did Mr. Childers' building up the hill, the NCS building. It's an Energy Star building, the things we did up there, NCS. And we did some other facilities back in 2013 along with that. But today we come to you with our 3rd round of energy savings. And in your budgets, we had budgeted $5.5 million for energy saving project. We feel like right now is a very opportune time. Train has examined every one of our facilities, walked in and out of every closet and hallway, and looked at every air duct and light and done a really thorough assessment of what it would take for us to kind of get up to today's standards in many of our buildings. So in your packets, there is a very well-written memo by Mr. Dave Hayner, our facilities coordinator. Thank you, David. As well as Greg Meredith, our Public Works Director. They both have worked hard on this project. But we are looking to get into a number of facilities, the number one facility being the Sloan Convention Center. It's 30 years old, a lot of original equipment out there. If you've ever been there, you can go in one room and it's 65, and you go in another room and it's 85. And there's never has been really any good control of that building with HVAC. The lighting as well can be converted to LED. So that's just one primary example, but we're gonna get into City Hall, we're gonna get into the Annex, Public Works Administration, Police Headquarters, Public Works Operations at Lapsley, the Public Works Fleet Department down at Raven, even some more stuff up at Brent's Building at NCS, the Moxley Community Center, Coomer Little Community Center, a lot of room for improvement there with savings in HVAC and lighting. Even the Russell Sims Aquatic Center, we're going to look at the water usage there, parks maintenance on Raven, cemetery administration, the Parker Bennett Community Center, even the golf courses, Paul Walker, Hobson Grove, Crosswinds Golf, Circuit Square Park with our water fountain, and we're looking at 5 different fire stations of improving HVAC and lighting there to save money. By getting controls at these places, what they call IEQs, which is, help me out, Katie. Thank you, Anthony. Indoor environmental quality controls. You can save a lot of money, I've learned. We took a trip to Louisville, Katie, Greg, and Dave and I, and went to basically their laboratory at their train headquarters in Louisville and saw the capabilities that they had with whether it be solar, lighting, HVAC, and we're even going to do some solar in this project too, on the park side to save on some lighting bills. So I'd like to ask Anthony to come up and kind of introduce himself and tell you a little bit of our history, I guess, and what this is going to mean for us. Anthony?
Thank you, Jeff. Good evening, good afternoon, Mayor, Commissioners. It's once again my pleasure to stand before you. As Jeff indicated, the last time I stood at this podium, it was to tell you all that the NCS building is an Energy Star building. And the partnership that we have enjoyed with the city of Bowling Green for a number of years now, since 2000, has really been fruitful, not only in making the buildings better, but of course the long-term relationship that we have, and the incredible team that I've worked with. The staff of officials here have just done a phenomenal job at helping us kind of work through all the issues that need to be addressed. These projects are not just about energy. They're about using savings in energy to address problems. And that's what we did with NCS. We took it from about a building that was not really even in use the way it should be, and now it's a great building that Brent does a lot of work in. So this is yet a continuation of that. We're getting into other areas that we didn't in other projects. Thank you to the chief, fire stations. We've gotten more involved there, and also more work in our Parks and Recs area.
So the savings that we are projecting is in your packets as well. It's the chart that has the multiple columns. We are projecting a expenditure of $5,899,800. That's why we have the not to exceed $5.9 million. But we're also projecting, with energy savings and just operational savings, that we're going to reap from going ahead and replacing these old units that are going to die anyway over the next 15, 20 years, and getting energy efficient units in. With those operational savings that we're going to call the Mr. Fix-It guy to come, work on it every month, we're looking at over $6 million in savings just in the next 20 years. So that's with a little bit of inflation built in, but still we're gonna pretty much meet it dollar for dollar. And in this contract, Anthony can explain it, but whenever they don't hit the mark, we look at this annually. Dave Hayner gets a report, Katie gets a report, and if we don't produce the savings that they had proposed with whether it be our electric bills or whatever, Train is obligated to write us a check for the difference. So
That's correct.
No, Anthony may want to speak to that or may not want to speak to that. But,
I will say that we're always very, very conservative in our estimates on the energy savings. We really try to make sure that you meet the savings that you're looking for. We certainly don't go back to you when you exceed the savings, because generally we do drive better results than what we have in the cash flow. But it is very, very important to have that security, if you will. Again, it's the partnership. It's us working together. And because you're such a good user, and Dave Hayner in particular, with our intelligence services program, which is really like real-time commissioning. We actually get together with them more than once a year to make sure we get to the end of the year where we need to be.
So is this all going to happen sort of at once, and then you're seeing the savings the rest of the time? Or is this kind of, a little bit at a time? Or how does this, this is a lot of work to get done.
We've looked out with your team, of course, out many years too with the replacements that you're going to have in HVAC. We accelerated that by bringing it back into this project. So now over the course of a year, so it's going to take some time to actually get all the improvements in, but we're looking at getting it done now at these prices so you don't worry about price increases in the future.
Well, this is so exciting. There are, lots of ways that we're a leader in our community, and thinking about how we can show that being, making these investments on the front end, how you can actually save money and then also improve, the experience for your staff and your customers. And I'm excited about the solar option at parks. And another question I just had was with this new law that is passed or going to be passed in Washington, is there going to be some funds available for state and local governments to get rebates, or is that just, have you all got any information about that yet?
Not any detail on the one that just passed.
Okay.
Obviously, ARPA funds and those kinds of things that have been passed before. Yes, we look to use those when they're appropriate, but at this point, I don't think you all need to tap into those funds for this project because savings is really paying for a lot of it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Anthony.
Sure.
Any other questions or comments from the commission? None at this time. Let's do a roll call.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes. Municipal order number 2022-175.
Municipal order authorizing and accepting bid number 2023-02 for the purchase and installation of a generator for the Public Works Department Fleet Division from Young's Electric Heating and Cooling, Inc. of Scottsville, Kentucky, in an amount not to exceed $144,850.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Gross Bailey, second by Commissioner Hill. Mr. Mizel.
I think you all, like me, have learned how important and critical our fleet division is, especially during emergencies, whether it be snow and ice on the road, where they're coming in, servicing our trucks, keeping police and fire on the road, or the December 11th tornado disaster. They were there all along, waiting, standing by for whatever we needed. They were changing a lot of tires, but they are in need of 24/7 power occasionally when things happen. And so they're in need right now of a new generator. I think the old one's bit the dust. This is a 150 kilowatt diesel generator that would back them up if they lost power. And I think Dave has looked this over really good and is recommending we go ahead and replace this. And we got we went out for bid, and we only got really one bid from Young's Electric Heating. And they're proposing to do all of the work, set it up, test it, field test it, and keep watch on it for $144,850. So we recommend to go ahead and get this done for the fleet division. And Dave Hayners can answer, or Greg can answer any questions you might have on this one.
Questions? None? Roll call.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes. Municipal order number 2022-176.
Municipal order authorizing and accepting bid number 2023-06 for storm damage cleanup from Bushels and Blooms LLC of Franklin, Kentucky, based on unit pricing in an amount not to exceed $200,000.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Beasley Brown, second by Perigin.
I didn't hear it.
I'm sorry. Roll call.
Got it.
Mr. Mizel.
Got it.
I just had it.
This is money stemming from House Bill 5 that was passed at General Assembly, back in the spring. This is the West Kentucky Safe Fund money that we were able to get. We applied for money for tree replacement, large tree and stump removal program, utility assistance program, I'll get to that in just a second, along with some reimbursements that we were not going to get from FEMA, and we ended up getting $970,000 from this fund, this SAFE fund. This was only for the counties that were hit by the tornado, the 12 or so counties. And so we come to you with this item. This is for further removal of the trees and stumps that were left behind on private property. We applied for some money and we got $200,000 to go in and hire someone to do this. And so Matt Powell stepped up and volunteered to take this project on and went out and got these bids. These are evaluated bids based on their ability to do this job and do this work. And it was judged that Bushels and Blooms LLC from Franklin, Kentucky had the best score to perform this project. And so we're going to spend up to $200,000 on removing any leftover trees and stumps on private property that are still out there in backyards that were hard to get to, couldn't get it to the street or the right of way for pickup. And so Matt is going to start this program, take requests, and monitor this program with this company, Bushels and Blooms. And we're hoping to get as much done as we can with this $200,000 allotment that the state gave us out of this fund, and try to get more cleanup done on private property and help some people out that have been staring at big tree stumps in their yards or backyards that just couldn't get insurance to pay for, couldn't get removed. So, and there's still some out there in some areas. So hoping to get that finished off, and Matt was gracious to take this on among his other duties. So ask for your approval of this award to Bushels and Blooms for $200,000 to do this work. And Greg can help me answer any questions you might have.
I have a question, Greg. How do citizens get on a list? I actually had somebody yesterday said, is there any help for me with this big tree stump that's still left in his yard from the storm?
We actually have, and we're in the process. Matt has worked with Debbie, and he's worked with Karen Foley and neighborhood community services so she can get it out to neighborhood groups. There's an online application form where you go in and fill out some basic information. Our guys will go out to each individual property owner, meet with them, assess what their needs are and what their desires are. We'll put that on a list. We'll work through. We'll make sure before we make any final decisions about what we can do, we'll get all of our lists completed, be able to kind of divvy up, if you will, our funding, and to be able to go out and make some improvements. So the website, I guess you go through, Matt, tell me exactly where that is on the website.
It's Brent's website for service requests. We've just added another one.
So, yeah, it's a service request through NCS's website. So you'll be able to go on and put your contact information, your address, your name, et cetera, basic information. We'll go touch base, make the assessment, make the estimates based upon our contract amounts, and to be able to see what we can do to meet those needs.
Would it be possible, Brent or somebody, to send us the link to that form that I can just streamline it for a citizen?
We'll send it to you, and it's going to be published, like I said,
That'd be
soon,
great.
as
That'd be
we
great.
get this program up and going. Now that we have our bids and we can ascertain the costs, et cetera.
Well, that's not there yet.
It's there right now, but it's not been publicized. It is, the request is actually
Got it.
there.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
And I just have a comment. There's sometimes that I always kind of hit you up and be like, these things are happening because we know there's still a lot of people that's been impacted by the storm. So this is a great thing just to have Matt and you guys, and now you won't have me texting you like on a Saturday or a Sunday asking you to, what can I do to help this individual out. So this is a great thing for the community, especially the people that were impacted by the tornado.
Other questions? Roll call.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes. Ordinance number BG 2022-41 was tabled, first reading, non-binding.
Ordinance amending Code of Ordinances. Ordinance amending amendments to Chapter 27 Property Code of the City of Bowling Green Code of Ordinances.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Perigin, second by Commissioner Hill. Mr. Mizel.
This is some revisions to Chapter 27 of our code, code enforcement, code compliance sections. I'd like to thank Brent Childers and Brad Chargrosky for working on this. In your packets, there is a good summary memo from Brad and Brent that covers a lot of the changes. I'm going to hit them really fast here. But as they were looking at Chapter 27, we found some irrelevant sections due to some changes over the last several years. But one being that there was a subchapter relating to regulation of recycling establishments that was removed due to that being entirely under the City County Planning Commission now, and they have their own full-time zoning compliance officer that monitors recycling establishments. Another piece was the enforcement of stormwater violations, public property, and streets and sidewalks. That was removed due to City Public Works enforcing that now in their regulations under Chapter 21. And then also the section allowing real estate signs to be placed in city right-of-ways was removed, as were other allowances related to the temporary signs. These were contrary to the revised zoning ordinances that were passed back in April of 21, and thereby they were kind of preempted. So that was taken out. And then some other things like definitions and terms were enhanced for clarification. We also had a section relating to criminal activity as a nuisance that was expanded to better allow for enforcement of properties that are detriment to the city because of ongoing criminal activity. We also edited to coincide with the state law to protect the process of rights for property owners, due process rights for property owners, with clarifying timeliness and processes. Language relating to the abatement of nuisances was also revised to follow more immediate enforcement on ongoing problem properties, specifically cases involving overgrown grass and cases of there being imminent danger or unsafe structures. So those were just a few of the changes in this Chapter 27 that are before you tonight. Also some wording regarding the penalties subchapter and the repeat offender subchapter were also revised. So again, I want to thank Brent and Brad for working on this, and they're here and can answer any questions you might have on this.
Let's make a note. When I was riding around with Brad and his team, and they would find items like tires and items that needed to be picked up by refuge, and they would proactively contact our contractor that works for the county and be able to get a list of items that are needed to be picked up by the community, or items that were out and about that maybe not have been called in. Because if you have a mattress, or you have some tires, or you have items out there, those items need to be called in specifically for the pickup. But their team is so proactive that they have a list about 20 to 30 places, and they provide that. There's only a single person that does that, but it is very effective, and it's very effective for our citizens. So I wanted to accolade that, and I see that in this document, and this goes right along with your accreditation and all the hard work that you've accomplished. So I just wanted to kudos that. Commissioners? Okay. This is a first reading, it's non-binding, so we'll have a roll call.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes. Municipal Order Number 2022-177.
Municipal order authorizing and approving revisions to the Housing Choice Voucher Administrative Plan for the city's Housing Choice Voucher Program and approving the acceptance of additional mainstream vouchers from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Beasley Brown, second by Commissioner Carlos Bailey. Mr. Mizel.
Received notice back at the end of July that we were awarded 10 more mainstream vouchers, and these mainstream vouchers are for families that have one or more persons with disabilities, and so that have to be between the ages of 18 and 62. So that brings us to 79 mainstream vouchers now, which is really, really good. These are in high demand. They're at 98% utilization, and so we're very fortunate to get them. This brings us to a total voucher number of 730 now in our Housing Choice Voucher Program. The other piece of this this here tonight is the administrative plan for the city's Housing Choice Voucher Program. Before you in your packets is some recommended changes that Elvira worked on for our administrative plan along with Brent, and there's a good memo in your packets addressing the revisions. The main ones that were covered were the addition of the special program, the ERA2, which is a lease-up assistance program, and then another big area that we addressed were cases where a family, when they do not report that their income was incorrect, there were some maybe overpayments to landlords where we overpaid landlords, where we were addressing some repayment plans there and cleaning up some language with how the repayment's going to work and getting that caught back up. So again, Brent's here, can answer any questions on this item, but that's some administrative cleanup to our Housing Choice Voucher Program.
Mr. Mizel, comments, questions?
Just really grateful for your all's continued work on this. More vouchers are definitely needed, so just really grateful for all the work you all do to get those resources to our community to help, address this affordable housing shortage. And then also the fact that you figure out what are those barriers. We have these resources, and what are the barriers to families using these to be able to provide stability for families and kids. And I'm just so grateful that you all are addressing all those things and creating that better safety net and stability for the families who use this program. So thank you so much.
Other questions, comments? Roll call, please.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes. Municipal order number 2022-178.
Municipal order approving a memorandum of understanding for community tree replacement program funding between the City of Bowling Green and Operation Pride, Inc.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Commissioner Perigin, second by Commissioner Beasley Brown. Mr. Mizel.
So going back to House Bill 5 and our West Kentucky Safe Fund request that we requested and received, our total request was roughly a little over $1 million or so. We got turned down on a few things, but we did get some of our requests fulfilled. And as I mentioned earlier, we got the large tree and stump removal program approved for $200,000. And so another piece of this is what's before you right now is our tree replacement program. We lost, I think, roughly 3,000 trees from the tornado back in December. And this really affected our, I guess you call it our vista in a lot of neighborhoods. And so we have reached out to Melanie Lawrence, who's here with us tonight, Operation Pride. Operation Pride is willing to take on this project for us and administer this $150,000 grant funding for our tree replacement program. So Operation Pride is in this business of making our community look nicer and better and prettier. And so we felt like they would be a great partner. They've been a great partner for many years with Beautify 65 and a lot of other projects around the city. So Melanie's here tonight. Did you want to say anything, Melanie? Or we're gonna recommend that we give the $150,000 for administration to Operation Pride. Melanie?
This program will provide vouchers to any citizen or landlord for the property owner for $200 where they can buy trees from local vendors. So once this is approved, then we'll contact the nurseries, the vendors throughout the community who are willing to accept this. We have also received several grants from the Arbor Day Foundation, and they have contacted me again to do another tree distribution where we'll be handing out trees. So during the distribution process, we will also make them aware of the voucher process. Because so many times, the last distribution we did was limited to one tree. Well, in certain neighborhoods that were affected in certain areas, far more than one tree was lost. And I have to tell you a warm and fuzzy story from our last distribution at Jennings Creek. A woman who worked for the school who did not speak English wanted to know what was going on. So she called her daughter on the telephone and had her daughter translate for her. And she had several kids who had been through Jennings Creek, and they had just bought a home, and it had no trees. And she asked if she would be eligible, and we said yes, and we gave her a tree. She had no way to transport it, so Johnny Webb put it in his vehicle, took it to the house for her, where she brought the entire family out, and she said, "This tree is in memory of my babies I lost at the school." So it's so much more than just a tree. And I grew up in one of the areas that was hit. And when I drove down Covington and the trees were gone, it's not home anymore. So part of our mission, in addition to beautification, is to help make our community whole again. And we're a tree city. And we want to work with those areas affected. If this other grant is approved by the Arbor Day, we hope to do that at Covington Woods Park, in the area where people live and work. And we're going to continue to seek additional funding to do this. Because as you say, the several thousand trees were lost. And we hope to put back every single one of them and then some. So if you have any questions, we will make it public. We will do the marketing for that through social media, the newspaper, so everybody will know about it. And how we determine if you were affected or not is we'll use the Planning Commission map and look up the addresses there to see if they were in a tornado-affected area.
Ms. Melanie?
Yes, sir.
Will you guys, I guess, kind of like what I think the mayor or maybe Sue asked, to provide a link or something where we can let people know where to get it?
Absolutely. I will, once we get those set up, our webpage and everything set up, they can do it via email, they can do it in person, they can also do it online. So we're going to try to make it as useful to all the different populations, because some people simply don't have computers.
True.
And so this way we're going to make it as user-friendly as possible. But yes, once we are set up, once we have our vendors and we're ready to go, I will absolutely provide you more information than you ever wanted.
And I guess just a last comment. I'm a kid from the 80s, but I'm born and raised here in Bowling Green. And back then, it's different today, and you know it is. But we were probably outside from 8 till
Absolutely.
nighttime in those trees. You know, back then, those trees were our shade. It was like where the coolness came through and stuff.
It's where you hung out with the other kids.
Yes.
And I was a child before the 80s, but it was your neighborhood.
Yeah.
It would be, meet me at the such and such tree down here.
Play games.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's what adds beauty to our city that so many other cities don't have, because when the developers have come in, instead of clear cutting everything, they leave our trees.
Right.
And when the lady told me that at Jennings Creek, that these were in memory of her babies, I just about lost it. But and talking to the Arbor Day, it is so much more than just a tree. It's so much more than just making something pretty.
I want to say thank you, Melanie, for your commitment to beautification and to this, replacing these trees. And I absolutely want to say publicly to whoever's watching, a huge thank you to Johnny Webb and everything that he's doing for our community and continues to do, that we would never know. And
Oh,
because
absolutely.
he would never share. So you know, Johnny, if you're watching, thank you very much.
And one of the other things, we have a tree planting on the Crease and Greenway taking place September the 22nd, where we're replacing the trees that were lost because so many Western students and individuals use that area as a walkway. So we're going to return the shade. And so everybody is invited to attend. If anybody would like to speak, please let me know. I think it will mean a lot to that community, and especially the right-of-ways are such along the green. It's hard to call it a greenway when there's no green. So we're trying to work very much, we work a lot with Brent to identify areas and needs, bounce ideas off of each other, and hope to continue this long-standing relationship with the community.
I just had one additional comment and a question. I just want to echo everyone's thank you for taking the lead on, like you said, healing our community. And like Commissioner Bailey mentioned, I mean, the quality of life impact in our neighborhoods, not just the visual of, you know, what is left, but that shade and what that means. Like we were already talking about, you know, energy savings, but for those homes and their energy bills without those trees and the heat that we've experiencing this summer, just that simple little thing of our trees being gone, how that impacts quality of life for those families recovering from the tornado. And then we know, again, like what we're talking about with the parks and being active and healthy, with this heat that we've had, the difference of that same walk that they've always had, being able to walk and be healthy with that shade, and now, without it, what that reminder is every time. And so I'm just so grateful just for the many, many deep ways that this is going to help us heal. And the second question, or the second question I had was, I do not have a green thumb. My tomato plant is huge. It's beautiful. It is green, but there are no tomatoes on it this summer, and someone needs to tell me what is the problem here. So I've tried to grow a tree before, and it did not go well. So is there going to be some support in terms of helping people plant, not just, all the money going to trees and then all of them die? Because it's a process of nurturing to help these trees take root and last. So
we handed out information when we hand out trees, but in addition to that, we have a volunteer group called Retree Bowling Green, and they are providing education, and they're willing to go out and meet with individuals and talk about selections and soil. And then we also have, like, for this Crease thing, an individual we have worked with who guarantees the trees for a year, will come out and meet with you, talk about doing various things. We add mulch with that. We tell them to keep them moist, and they're like, I can't afford one of those expensive alligator bags. So we give them the country solution. You buy a 5-gallon bucket, you drill some little narrow holes and set it on the bottom. So yes, we're always educating along with just providing the greenery. And one of the other things is by replacing these trees, we improve our air quality again. And so that is, and it shields against noise. So it does so many other things. Yes. But yes, you can always pick up the phone and call me. I am not the plant maven my mother was, but I know enough to be dangerous. And so yes, we also provide support to go with it.
And will that, I guess, request for additional support, that's offered when they pick up the tree, or is that a separate link that they can request that type of support?
At this point, it will be offered actually at application.
Okay, great.
Because when we receive the applications and approve it, then in addition to sending the approval and the voucher, we will add the print material that I have from the Arbor Day Foundation that goes through all the planting and maintenance and those types of things.
How much?
And I thank you all for the consideration.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, no further questions. Let's do a roll call.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes. Municipal Order Number 2022-179.
Municipal order approving year 17 annual action plan amendment for community development block grant coronavirus funding and authorizing its submission to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Perigin, second by Commissioner Crows Bailey. Mr. Mizel.
We keep finding CARES Act money. It's unbelievable. Thank you, Nick. Where are you? Nick, we've done such a good job with our previous CARES Act money. They keep calling us and saying, we've got some more, and we say, we'll take it. And so we've got $138,633 here that they are proposing to give to us, and we would like to use that to provide transportation assistance to employment centers in the community to get people to work. It's really, really good to get this money. And with this, we're going to have to amend the year 17 of our annual action plan, but no big deal. That's in your packets. But very fortunate to get this extra $138,000, and Nick and Brian are here, can answer any questions you might have.
Mayor, I'm super excited about this. I'm always talking about that gap we have between, our city center and our transportation service, and then our transparks, that we have all these great jobs that could really help transform lives. So do you have any more details about the program, or is it going to be built once this is approved?
I was going to say, I just told somebody this is the least I've ever talked in a meeting. Now you got me, so you better be ready. 2 minutes.
We have a 2-minute gag order on you.
Yeah. Short answer, we don't have the program built. This is the planning process to get us to that point. It's not going to be us driving the bus. It's not going to be Nick and I. It's be partnering with somebody that will be doing that service. This is about allocating the funds for that purpose. To make that available. But this is something we identified as we've seen our economy take off, our labor shortages and our labor market change as a result of COVID. We felt like this was the right impact to address with these funds that we were not anticipating once they became available.
And so will this, I know we are restricted, the reason why our buses can't go out to the Trans Park is because we can't go beyond city limits. So is this going to allow us to bridge that gap, or will it have to again remain?
This gives us a lot more flexibility.
Oh, that's great.
Yes, a lot more flexibility. Since these are HUD funds and not transit funds, this gives us a lot more flexibility.
Thank you so much again for all the hard work you all do to find funding opportunities for us to bridge these gaps for our community. And this is such an exciting one that we've tried to figure out how to bridge that gap to our city and those jobs. And this is so exciting.
Brent, just really quick, I think it's a great thing and stuff, especially having transportation for someone that doesn't have transportation to get to work, so one day they can buy their own vehicle to get there. Do you know, I guess, how many people this will help and how far this will extend?
I think right now in the plan, Nick estimated 300 over a 2-year period. Because you're right, the goal is self-sufficiency, right? The goal is never to remain dependent on the government service to provide for you. The goal is always to get somebody to that point. So that's what we're looking at. Extension, it would still be within our community. So this would not be anything to Tennessee or anything like that. This would still be within our community. You might go out of the city limits because the road goes out of the city limits because of our annexation boundaries, but it would still be within our community.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brent.
I would like to note that there is one nonprofit in our city that provides the service already, and that's Hope House. So you can catch a ride from Hope House to the South or North Industrial Park for work, and they've been providing that service for a number of years now. So, but we're hoping to expand that, maybe partner with them, or not necessarily, but work around them, not work overlap, and we'll get it figured out. So it's exciting.
Other questions? Roll call, please.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes. Ordinance number BG 2022-42, first reading, non-binding.
Ordinance annexing property and right-of-way by consent. Ordinance annexing 1.342 acres of property at Fort Webb Park and 1.4653 acres of right-of-way located on Fort Webb Drive for a total of 2.8073 acres, presently owned by the City of Bowling Green, with said territory being contiguous to existing city limits.
So moved.
Second. By Commissioner Gross Bailey, second by Commissioner Perigin. Mr. Meisel.
Received some calls that the Fort Webb Drive was in dire need of some repairs. And so we got to looking into this, and we found out that Fort Webb Park is our park, and it was not even in the city limits. So this road gets us to the Fort Webb Park, also gives access to, I think, the Bowling Green Country Club out there. But we are, I think, in the process of partnering with the county, is that correct, Greg, to get this repaved and resurfaced into good condition to get to the Fort Webb Park and to the driveway to the Bowling Green Country Club. So ultimately, though, we would like to go ahead and get the Fort Webb Park annexed and go ahead and annex this Fort Webb Drive as a city street. So it just makes sense. Everything up to that point is city, I believe. Greg looked at this, and it just makes sense for the future that we take this street and this park into our annexation area.
Thank you. Questions? None. Roll call.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes. Ordinance number BG 2022-43, first reading, non-binding.
Ordinance annexing right-of-way by consent. Ordinance annexing 12.70 acres of right-of-way located on, Freeport Road, sorry, I thought I was on the wrong one. Presently owned by Warren County, with said territory being contiguous to existing city limits.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Perigin, second by Commissioner Hill. Mr. Meisel.
The ITA worked hard to get some state funding from the last General Assembly to do some work on Freeport Road, because with the Envision project coming in, Freeport Road will serve as a main entryway for Envision. So it's kind of the backside or the north side of the existing Transpark land, and will be widened and improved with the state funding that they received from the Transportation Department. Greg and his staff have been asked to oversee that project from the states for the state, for the ITA, since we're good at that kind of stuff. And so we come to you tonight, though, with annexation of this right-of-way, this road, because it's going to become another city street, because every street and road up in the Transpark is a city street, and we maintain those, and they're part of our network. So this will be the newest one once we get this widened and in shape to where it needs to be. So asking your approval to go ahead and annex this right away for this road so that we can include it as a city street and move on with this project. Greg, you have any? Good. Greg can answer any questions you might have on
So
this.
eventually, all streets will be annexed over to the city once the proper.
Given that the Transpark is all annexed,
It's
we
annexed.
will continue to annex property up
Streets,
there.
and this is continuous effort.
Infrastructure, yes.
Thank you. Questions, comments? Roll call.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes. Municipal order number 2022-180.
Municipal order approving construction and accepting maintenance of Spring Lakes subdivision.
So moved. Sorry, second.
Moved by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Perigin. Mr. Meisel.
I believe Spring Lakes is a new subdivision out 3 Springs Road, if I'm not mistaken. The developer has completed all of their work, and planning and zoning, along with Greg's public works staff, has inspected the neighborhood and the streets, and we are looking at accepting 3,517 linear feet of roadway, along with the associated sidewalk and storm sewer that goes along with that. For any lots that are not developed at this point, there is a $73,000 bond that has been filed for any remaining sidewalk work that needs to be done out there after we accept this as a city neighborhood, city subdivision. And so that's a good thing. And Greg has looked over this, his staff has inspected it, and I think we're ready to go. And he's here still for answer any questions you might have.
Questions at this time? None. Roll call, please.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes. Municipal order number 2022-181.
Municipal order approving and authorizing out-of-town travel expenses for city manager Jeff Meisel to visit Riverfront Park in Little Rock, Arkansas.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Perigin. Mr. Mizel.
Katie, Greg, Nick, and I call them the Brents, and I went on a 36-hour trip, fast and furious, to Little Rock, one overnight, to see the riverfront development that they have in Little Rock along the Arkansas River. We are wanting to start to get ideas for our own riverfront project. And so we went and we're very impressed. This riverfront is a lot longer and bigger than ours will be, but it's been built over the last 25, 30 years. They've got a lot of art, a lot of unique things that they included along the riverfront, a lot of different levels that we got ideas on, some children's play areas. There's an amphitheater there. Really a good informative trip. We were able to meet with their parks director the next morning and some of his maintenance managers, and got a lot of good information from them on how they put all theirs together. And so thank you for allowing me to go on this trip and see things firsthand. It's good to see things live. We took a lot of good pictures too to bring back some ideas for when we get into our planning and design phase with our own riverfront. So thank you.
I was about to ask you, but you said you took pictures. I would love to see those pictures just to see what it looks like.
Brent's, I think, coordinating those, and we'll try to get those emailed out to you.
Thank you.
Great. No further questions? Roll call?
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill. Yes. Alcott.
Yes. Ordinance number BG 2022-44, first reading, non-binding.
Ordinance relating to property tax rates. Ordinance setting 2022 property tax rates, franchise tax rates, and improvement asset assessment rates, and setting forth guidelines for payment, penalty, and interest.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Commissioner Perigin, second by Commissioner Hill. Mr. Mizel.
I'm going to turn this item over to Katie. We had a public hearing last meeting, we had some discussion, but I'm going to turn it over to Katie and let her explain where we're at.
We had our public hearing on August 2nd, that we had to do that required by law. Any tax rate that comes between the compensating rate and a 4% increase, you have to have a public hearing. I did propose an increase. It was a slight increase to 20.6 cents from our 20.5. Following that public hearing, I did get some feedback, and we determined that we would just continue to keep the current rate. So this ordinance maintains the current tax rate that we have at the 20.5 cents for real estate, and then the 26 cents for personal property. That rate was not proposed to be changed. It's not changed since 1980, but for the real property tax rate. The original proposal obviously was to try and reset back to our 2017 rate. It was only going to add about $60,000 to our budget, although over time that would add up. It's not something we have to do, but it was something I wanted to propose because the fact of the impact to the property owner was very minimal. It's the least amount it could have been for an increase to a property owner, and could have added to our budget down the road. But obviously, we're not in a situation where we're outpacing growth in any way. We certainly have the growth in the assessments. We will probably have to consider next year maybe a different opportunity, but currently this year we're going to maintain the property tax rate as it currently is at the 20.5 cents.
I'm going to say thank you for that. I think that's the right thing to do, given the economic climate that we're in today. And any tax increase is not welcome. So thank you.
Katie, I'm going to echo that as well. I know this is a hard time for the families. You know, we were looking at inflation for a little bit, and stuff is still going up. We went to the store, and my wife was looking at eggs, just eggs, and it was $12 for the eggs that we saw a couple of weeks ago. And a year, or maybe 2 years prior to that, we could probably buy the same eggs, maybe $2 or $3. So right now, I appreciate, like, we're not changing it at this point.
Yeah, I'd just like to state, I looked at this, and it was literally a couple more dollars for myself. But we are all paying more everywhere, astronomically paying more everywhere. So it's a little thing, and we can get caught up on the statement of raising taxes, but we're not. And it was not a lot, but every dollar counts, right? So thank you.
Katie, I'd like to say thank you also. I know you put a lot of time and effort in the proposal. I appreciate that. So I know it was hard with all that work you had put in and us not accept it, but thank you. On behalf of our citizens, I know they're going to appreciate it. So thank you so much.
Okay, no further questions, comments? Roll call, please.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill. Alcott.
Yes. Municipal order number 2022-182.
Municipal order approving a job development incentive program employee withholdings credit agreement with Owens Brockway Glass Container, Inc., also known as OI Glass.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Perigin, second by Commissioner Hill. Mr. Mizel.
So before I hand off these next two items to Katie, I just want to make just a quick comment. These are some recent announcements that we've had in our community. This OI Glass is an excellent company, brings great pay and great benefits to our community. And the other one is an existing company that's expanding, but you just want to make sure it's known that the city contributes. We have what we call our job development incentive program, where we are contributing 1% of our main revenue source, withholding tax, 1% credit back to these companies for 10 years to help recruit them here to Bowling Green, Warren County. So this has been a very successful program since 2006, back long ago. So ever since when I was CFO. But we probably incentivized probably $20 million or more over these last 16 years plus. And so these are two of the latest ones, and I'm going to turn this over to Katie.
As Jeff mentioned, this particular project was just announced. It brings 140 new jobs. They're going to have a capital investment of almost $240 million. So this is a new company. It is located in the Trans Park. So it's a great addition to that program. Again, the Kentucky Business Investment Program, the city matches the state's 3% under that program with our 1% incentive, and it goes for 10 years. So the company potentially could receive back about $957,000 as part of that 1%. And then the city would retain $814,000 of our remaining 0.85% of our occupational.
I think what's great about this is that it's not an automotive supply. Not that we don't love every one of our automotive suppliers, but Jeff and I both sit on the ITA board, and we talk a lot about diversifying the economy. And this is an example of us, actively going after new manufacturing types of facilities that are not the same, the same kind of a thing. So this is what's really exciting about that is that it's. I know we've gotten some recent food manufacturing and those kinds of things, and it just is good business to be a lot more diversified than not.
My understanding, this is a customized glass bottle company. They can turn on a dime and make about any shaped glass bottle that you would want to order up. So it's state of the art. The jobs are incredible. I think it's $70,000 to $80,000 annual.
And their product is
average wage.
recyclable.
Yes,
So
it's a great
it's all
company.
good stuff.
And I just want to again thank everybody who comes together to do this incredible economic development work to attract these amazing jobs for our community, and just to the chamber and the county and everyone on our behalf for the city just coming together. It's really, really exciting to see what's happening, and just really grateful for everybody involved.
Thank you, everybody. Questions, comments? Roll call, please.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes. Municipal order number 2022-182. I know, I just read that. Municipal order number 2022-183.
Municipal order approving a job development incentive program employee withholdings credit agreement with Bluegrass Supply Chain Services LLC.
So move.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Carlos Bailey. Mr. Mizel.
I'll take this. This, again, is an expansion of an existing business. It's not in the Trans Park, but it is located near the Trans Park. And it's going to bring 110 new jobs with the expansion and have approximately $5.1 million in capital investment with the expansion. Again, the city would match the Kentucky Business Investment Program 3% with our 1% of the occupational fee. So the company could potentially receive back about $434,000 over the 10-year period. And then the city would retain about $369,000 over that 10-year period.
I have to echo something that Commissioner Beasley Brown said. I got to thank you guys that it seemed like, I know that our economy is hard, but it also seemed like in Bowling Green, we're booming at this time. And we're creating job after job after job after job and stuff. And it's a great thing. And just congratulations to the city manager. Congratulations to everybody that has been involved, even, you know, the county government that has been here. It's a great thing. We have jobs. We're open to hire. If people want to come and hire, get a job.
We're very fortunate that the Chamber of Commerce is a go-getter, if you
Yeah.
will. They're very actively out there recruiting, trying to get new business, and then taking care of our existing businesses. So we are very fortunate, and we are in a significant growth period at this point in time. Warren County itself, I think we're the second fastest-growing county in the state this year.
Nice. Who's the first?
You had to ask me that.
I apologize.
I think it's
Kenton County.
Kenton County, I believe.
The fastest growing city.
City.
That's a county's.
That's the
classification, yes.
county as a whole. We were last year the fastest growing city in the state. We're certainly up there, I believe, this year. I don't know what the number was specifically because it's based on an
It's like
estimate,
a
but
small community that
Yeah.
actually grew a little bit when they use the percentage. Yeah.
but we're very, very fortunate, and we are in a growth mode. You know, that previous business we just mentioned, OI Glass, located in the Trans Park, and we issued bonds last year for the expansion of the Trans Park, and part of that was the purchase of some property, and we have pretty much already filled that space with new businesses. There's a very small amount of property now available left over from that, so we're been very fortunate.
Okay, thank you. No more further questions, comments? Roll call, please.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes. Municipal order number 2022-184.
Municipal order authorizing a tax-exempt loan in the amount of $925,105 with Cogent Leasing and Financing, Inc., a subsidiary of Cogent Bank, Orlando, Florida, as designee assignee of Bank Funding LLC, a subsidiary of MBE SWAM certified firm, in order to provide financing for a fire engine for the new fire station at the Kentucky Trans Park.
So moved.
Second.
By Commissioner Perigin, second by Commissioner Beasley Brown. And I think we've heard about this fire truck for a while, right?
We have. You all approved the purchase on July 19th, and before you tonight is the financing to pay for it. So I'm going to offer this over to Katie, let her explain what she got, and it looks like a pretty good deal, and I'll let her take it on.
We anticipated in the budget to spend about $750,000, and we knew we were going to have to finance that. Obviously, looking at what this particular piece of apparatus needed, being located in the Trans Park, the price for that went up a little bit higher than we anticipated. But either way, we were going to need to finance this purchase because the Fire Improvement Fund just doesn't have the cash available to pay it in full. What we are able to do, though, however, is to receive a prepaid discount from the company we're purchasing the apparatus from. So we're only looking to finance $925,105. I was able to reach out to many of our lending corporations within Bowling Green, and then also we did post this on our website, on our bid site, as a request for proposals. We received 11, I believe, proposals, and the lowest interest rate actually was only willing to do the loan at the full cost of the apparatus. So 2.95%, but at $968,000 for the 10-year period of the loan. The second lowest interest rate was 3.09%, and they were willing to do the prepaid discount. And so when you look at the 10-year amortization schedule, it actually saves us money to pay the little bit higher interest rate, but on the lower principal amount of about $45,000. So that's the recommendation, is to go with the second lowest interest rate, but at the lower principal amount. And we would get this particular financing closed by September 15th, if not sooner. But that would be in order for us to get the discount from what is it called, Atlantic Emergency, where we're purchasing the apparatus from. It does take several months. We're looking at, 25 months for this particular apparatus to be built and then delivered. So it's a big step for the lending institution to do the prepay. Certainly will start the debt service in the next fiscal year, so they will immediately start getting the funding back, even though we won't have received the apparatus yet. But that's just how it goes with fire trucks. They take many years, many months to build. And in this particular case, it's so specialized, it's going to take a little bit longer. So.
Comments? Okay, roll call, please.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Beasley Brown. Hill.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes. Ordinance number BG 2022-40, second reading is binding.
Ordinance rezoning real estate. Ordinance rezoning tracts of land containing 20 acres from AG Agriculture to LI Light Industrial located at 0 Southwest Parkway into portion of 5865 Russellville Road, presently owned by Weston Apartments LLC.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Perigin, second by Commissioner Hill. This was a 5-0 reading. Are there any questions or comments at this time? 5-0 vote, sorry. None. Roll call, please.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Alcott.
Mrs. Jackson, will you check for public comments, please? Our next scheduled meeting will be September 6th at 2022, and it will be at 4:30 p.m. This, let's say 2183.
Awesome.
Have it? Oh, all right, we have a few. All right, Jennifer Morton, would you please come to the podium? Jennifer, my watch is slow hand, but you have up to 5, yes.
Thank you, City Commissioners and Mayor.
Oh, Jennifer, I'm sorry. Will you pull the mic down to you?
Thank you, City Commissioners and Mayor. The Mayor's doing a really good job. So, okay, I have 2 issues I want to talk about. I really want more funding for the transit, too, because the transit, what they should do is combine the program that you were talking about earlier and help the transit out, not just make another van. What we need to do is help that transit, because that's better to use the transit than use what they have now. So, and the buses only run 1 hour every hour and should be every 30 minutes. It should. So, okay. The other issue I want to talk about is taxes for cars. Do you know that the 5 states in the taxes for the cars, 5 states don't have it? So I'm not saying to eliminate it. I'm just saying a discount for people who are disabled, like a 10% discount or something like that, to help, because this city was messed up because of the tornado. People are suffering. And if we can get a discount for the cars, that would help. So, and if I can get some city commissioners to stand by me, I'm telling you, it's going to make you win. Because that's what a lot of people cannot afford is the taxes for cars. You know, and they are a discount for taxes, for property tax. There's what is it called? A disabled discount if you have a property tax and you're disabled, there's a program for that, but not for cars. So if you can stand by me, I bet you're going to win, because a lot of people are hurting and they really can't afford to pay the taxes on the cars. So, and I really do want all of you to win. You're doing a really good job. But I really do think if you stand by me, go to the county board and talk to them, and you lower the property tax for cars, you win. I really do. That's it.
Thank you, Jennifer. We appreciate your time and your comments. The other one was Melanie, and she's already spoken. Clara Verst. Is Clara here? Okay, she may have left. Well, this concludes tonight's meeting, and thank you for everyone for attending. Appreciate it.